In 2018, I traveled to 11 countries, got 12 million views, changed the name of my YouTube channel, got hung by hooks, got cursed by a witch, ate maggots, and also broke up with a long-term girlfriend. It was an emotional roller coaster with peaks and valleys, but it was one of the best years of my life. One of the most powerful anyway. And I thought I'd talk about some lessons I learned in the past 12 months. Let's go. I learned that this is one of the most important parts of my job. As a traveler, you are or I am an ambassador for my skin color, my race, my gender, all of this, and people will make impressions based on your actions, especially if you travel to places where people don't go, where foreigners don't go very often. Being a true traveler is throwing yourself into the world, not knowing what to expect, and having a dance with chance. So if a Filipino from an ex-headhunting tribe invites you to his 4-year-old's birthday party to eat beaten chicken and eat maggots, you smile, you say thank you, and you think about what your mom would say if you invite one of your foreign friends over for turkey dinner at Christmas and they say, sorry, we don't eat that where I'm from. It's weird and gross. You have to understand that these situations where one human being expresses extreme generosity to another human being only to show them how beautiful their culture is so much bigger than what you think is weird and gross. You gotta eat the worm. You gotta go down the rabbit hole. There's a red pill and a blue pill, and you have to understand your reaction to this act of generosity will label you and people like you going forward into the future. You are an ambassador. You have to respect people and their culture, and you have to maybe get a little sick sometimes. But hey, it's always a good story. Remember, respect is one of the most important things you can have as a traveler. This year I learned not to settle, and I mean that romantically, I mean that with passion, I mean that with my profession. I understood that most people end up settling for things in their life. They settle for less than what they're worth. And it takes a lot of bravery to fight that mold and carve your own path when everybody else is taking the easy way or the quick way and not fully pushing themselves to their full potential. It's scary to do that. Not many people do that, and quite often you feel like you're alone on a path and everybody else is falling off to the side. When you truly follow your passions, or you follow your heart, you follow your love, you'll have to leave a lot of people behind. Often this means being brutally honest, and honesty is one of those things that can feel like a rusty prison shiv that just gets shoved in your ribs. Specifically these two right here and twisted. It's not always a fun thing to go through. It often makes you do crazy things where people think it's crazy, but you know deep down that your heart's just not in it. It's just not in it. And you have to make tough choices that hurt people. Sometimes what I didn't realize until this year is being honest with yourself is one of the hardest things to do. Being honest with yourself, with the people in your life, with your intentions, opens up a feeling of freedom in your life, knowing that there's no dirty secrets, there's no ghosts in the attic, you're expressing yourself fully, and that allows you to be free. And isn't that the point of all of this? True happiness in life, in my opinion, is the feeling of being absolutely and completely free. Treating people like people is the magic key that will unlock basically anything you want in your life. I used to think this job, being a YouTuber, was all about the shots you took and all the beautiful stuff you can film. It is not that at all, let me tell you. It is all about the connections you make with people. And you can apply this to any job, whether you're an accountant or you're the President of the United States. Your interaction with people shape your world around you. And if you treat people like some are worth less and some are worth more, you make this whole world an unequal scale that can topple any direction at any time. Thinking this way in 2018 allowed me to get into places I never thought I'd be able to get into, as well as have experiences that I never thought I would have. Like an 102-year-old tattoo artist grabbing my penis.
Oh, it's bigger than that. It's this big. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Anyway, whether you're talking to a famous celebrity or you're talking to a beggar on the street, treating everybody like one person, because we are all just normal people who try to find love and money and success and happiness in this big confusing world. We're all in this journey together. So let's talk to each other like we're all in this journey together. Listen, I get a lot of comments about wanting to be a travel influencer and wanting a life like mine. And let me tell you, it's pretty awesome, but it is definitely not for everybody. You get sick a lot. You don't actually get to sleep a lot. You end up in a spot you sleep in. I've probably slept in 1,000 different beds in the past 6 years. I don't know, a lot. And so you don't always have the comforts of home. One of those comforts of home being relationships, both romantic and platonic. If I want to go have a beer with the guys, where do I go? I can't do it. You have to go on Skype, or I have to go make new friends. And making new friends is great, but sometimes you just want to sit back and shoot the shit with your boys or your gals over a bottle of wine or whatever it be. And sometimes it's very easy in this job to feel lonely when you're staying in these hotel rooms night after night after night, and you can't have that camaraderie you're used to when you're staying in one spot. That being said, this year in 2018, I made it a point to hang out with more people who do what I do and build solid relationships and friendships. I've learned life is about relationships and connections and sharing moments with people and being together. We're a social species. That's how human beings got to the top of the food chain. It's by building shit together, hunting together, tribal life. It's how we got here. And me foolishly thinking I can pave the path alone or carve the path alone is a good way to start when you have to film and shoot and plan and all this stuff yourself. But ultimately it doesn't lead to happiness. Community leads to happiness. Relationships lead to happiness. And this year I was lucky to spend a lot of time with some really talented and really funny, amazing, loving people. Why are you doing what other people are when you're willing to do what other people aren't? Why are you doing what other people are when you're willing to do what other people aren't? It's what I wrote on my wall at the beginning of last year when I was having a crisis of mind, a crisis of identity. That question led to me changing the name of the channel and the style of content that I created. You see, I was never the guy who fit in. I went through most of my life being the odd duck out, a bit of a social outcast, and never feeling like I did fit in. I was not a cool kid, despite what people might think now. If yelling to a camera in the middle of a hotel room is cool, but listen, not fitting in was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. It really was. It allowed me to think differently. I used to get mad at myself, asking why can't you be more like everybody else? And I've learned in the past, especially over the last year, that being yourself is one of the most beautiful things you can be. If you're out there making and doing the same as everybody else, you just blend in with the noise. If you're out there doing your own unique thing, and some people might think it's super weird, they might think you're weird, that's great. Weird is wonderful. Weird gets noticed. Being different is how you get through this life and you become successful. I fight my fears on this channel, and I encourage you to do the same. And part of fighting those fears is realizing that you are not like everybody else, and that is the fucking best thing about being you. Be fucking weird. Have no shame about it. Make people talk about you. Not everybody has to understand everything you do, but if you do it with a good heart and you're honestly, completely yourself, you can do anything. You can be anybody. That is one of the big secrets of our life. And lastly, I have a confession to make. The channel is called Fearless and Far. But last year in 2018, I was far from fearless. I was scared so many times. I was scared when Marianella and I broke up. I was scared when traveling in southern Philippines, in Mindanao and Basila. I was scared when I went to Venezuela. I was definitely scared at the Bulls of Fire festival. Oh my god. If you guys only knew how scared I was before I got hung by hooks. And believe it or not, I was even a little scared when I got cursed, because I don't believe in it, but you never really know. But that's the whole point of the channel, isn't it? To change our relationship with this feeling called fear, and understanding that we're hardwired to feel it. Even Mr. Fearless and Fire himself gets scared, and you should get scared, but it's how you react to it that can be a problem. If you're comfortable and you say yes and you welcome it, knowing that feeling and embracing that feeling is the ultimate free pass to your best life, you can do anything, man. So when fear arrives, you take her or him by the hands, you spin them once, kiss them sensually on the neck, and say, you got no power here. I'm taking you for a ride. You're not taking me for a ride. And you dance. Enjoy 2019. I got some good things planned. Right now I'm gonna dance with fear, and I hope you do too in this next year. Da, da, na, 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 na. Is that weird? Who cares? Who cares?